All right, I want to do my favorite movies of 2023 and do my top 10 list for you. Here are some honorable mentions. I'm not going to talk about them. I'm just going to flash them up on the screen for you. The movies that hovered around the 10th slot. All right, at number 10, Skinamarink by Kyle Edward Ball. A slow horror, ambient horror, whatever you want to call it. It's just about two kids having a rough night in the night in their house. Something spooky's going on, and it's grainy as hell. I saw this in a theaters, and I was really, really high, and I was really immersed in this world of the movie. It was like a cinematic experience I never had before. All right, number nine, Godzilla Minus One by Takashi Yamazaki. I'm not a big Godzilla fan, but this is the best Godzilla movie ever made. I feel confident in saying that. Yeah, this one, Godzilla is really menacing in it. I love all the stuff of him in the ocean, swimming around, chasing the boat. All the ocean stuff is really good, and I was really invested in the characters, the makeshift family of the story. I actually gave a shit about these characters, which I've never felt before in a Godzilla movie, which I think that really gives this movie the edge. Number eight, The Killer by David Fincher. I enjoyed this movie, saw it in theaters, and it just kind of it's been lingering in my head ever since I saw it. I keep thinking about all the different sequences of it, the Smith soundtrack, the Trent Reznor Atticus Ross score, the Tilda Swinton scene. Something about this movie has really stuck with me, and I keep liking it the more I think about it. Really interesting, funny movie, dark movie. Number seven, I got Showing Up by Kelly Reichardt. This is a very quiet, simple movie about making art in Portland. A lot of humor in this movie as well. There's some taking care of a pigeon in it. Just a interesting cast of characters here. Represents the world of creating art on a small scale for a small audience. How that affects you mentally and what the reality of that looks like. And I really loved it. Number six, I got Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3 by James Gunn. And it kind of pains me to put a Marvel movie so high up on my list, but I'll be honest, I saw this movie in the theaters with my mom, and I was bawling my eyes out for a good amount of the runtime. I really connected to the Rocket Raccoon origin story. It's very sad, but I thought well done. Some people say it's emotionally manipulative, but that's what I come to the movies for, is to be emotionally manipulated. And I thought this movie was completely effective at it, but also the humor in it really worked. Dave Bautista is always as really funny as Drax, and I love the production design, the look of this movie, and it's just a movie about friends. It's about saving your friend, space friendship with your space buddies, and I love that. Next up, I got Smoking Causes Coughing by Quentin Dupieux. This is a very short, kind of a parody film of Power Rangers. Very French language, very surreal, absurdist humor. But I loved it. And it's got some weird vignettes in it that feel kind of disconnected from the Power Ranger narrative, but they're all very interesting in their own right and feel like they have some thematic connections to what's going on there. Number four, I got Killers of the Flower Moon by Martin Scorsese. This is a true story that this movie deals with about like a real horrific situation of Native Americans getting murdered systematically in this town. And it's tough to watch in a lot of places. It's over 3 hours long, but when I saw it in theaters, it felt like half that time. I was engrossed the entire time. Lily Gladstone is giving very much an Oscar-worthy performance. Leo's giving it his all. Robert De Niro is great as a piece of shit. Leo's a piece of shit. Lily's great. It's a movie that everyone should see, I think. At number three, I got Asteroid City by Wes Anderson. I love Wes Anderson, so I was very excited for this movie. I was kind of a little let down on the first watch of it, but I went back to theaters and I gave it another shot, and then I loved it. It's definitely a more experimental, Strange kind of movie compared to his other stuff. A lot of different themes. Yeah, themes about science and the unknown and what does it all mean? What does art mean? All this stuff, grief. A lot of different things are in the pot in this movie. I think it really rewards rewatching, and the soundtrack's incredible. Love all the songs in it. Last train to San Fernando. At number two, I have Beau is Afraid by Ari Aster. You may know Ari as the guy who made Hereditary and Midsommar, but he's kind of ventured out of the horror world for this movie and entered into a genre completely of his own making. It is nightmarish in its way, but it is also hilarious and I don't know, transcends the horror genre. It's its own thing. Also a really long 3 hour movie, but I think it totally earns the runtime. Joaquin is great in it. I don't know. There's a lot to be said. Very detailed film. Also rewards a rewatch. There's just so many little details you'll pick up on rewatching it once you know how it all ends up. Love it. Number one, I got The Boy in the Heron by Hayao Miyazaki. Hayao Miyazaki is one of my favorite guys. Yeah, it's been 10 years since he made a movie, since The Wind Rises, and we finally get The Boy in the Heron, or as it's known in Japan, How Do You Live? And I was not disappointed at all. It's a beautiful film, incredible animation, an incredible story, beautiful score by Joe Hisashi. First time I saw it subbed, went back and saw it dubbed. I enjoyed the dub. Robert Pattinson as the Heron is a lot of fun. I would recommend watching it subbed at first because it is generally set in Japan and during World War II, so it feels more authentic to actually be hearing the Japanese language. Yeah, this movie's got it all. It's got birds, a lot of different birds. It's got fantasy visuals. It's got grief. It's got family stuff. There's a lot to chew on. It's a easy number one for me. And that's my 10. What's your 10? Also, if you don't know, I started a podcast, a film podcast with my cousin Austin last year called Film with Family. We talked to a lot of different family members of mine, my parents, my brother, my sister, my cousins, even brought in some of my friends to talk about their favorite movies. It's been a real fun project, and if you like to hear me talk about movies, that's a great place to go. There's a link in the description for that. Check out Film with Family. Bye.